It's the third National Economic Council meeting since the commencement of the present administration, and governors from across the Federation and other stakeholders are in attendance. The Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, is chairing the meeting held at the Council Chamber of the Presidential Villa. The meeting goes into a closed door after the national anthem. Few hours later, Governors Yaya Bello of Kogi State, Shey Makinde of Oyo State, Babagana Zulum of Borno State, Charles Soludo of Anambra State, and Uba Sani of Kaduna State briefed journalists on some of the resolutions reached, beginning with the preliminary report on the 2022 flood disaster, which claimed over 600 lives.
Only 16 out of the total number of affected states forwarded their submission to NEC Secretariat to date, as expected. About 15 others were yet to do so. There is therefore the need to expedite the release of funds to affected states as recommended by the designated committee constituted by the federal government to that effect. This will go a long way in addressing the needs of the victims as well as offset debts incurred by some states to some citizens.
Some vital resolutions were also reached by the Council to address the difficulties faced by Nigerians in the aftermath of subsidy removal.
The federal government of Nigeria has released 5 trucks of rice to each state last week. Furthermore, in order to cushion the effect of food shortages across the country, the federal government has approved the sum of 5 billion naira to be given to each state for the procurement of 100,000 bags of rice, 40,000 bags of maize, and fertilizers. 52% of this money is given to states as grants, while 48% of the 5 billion naira is to be paid back on an installment basis within a period of 2 years, 20 months to the CBN by the states and the local government areas in Nigeria.
Clarification here is again, 5 billion was actually approved, but until this moment, only 2 billion have been given to the states.
A committee was also set up to interface with organized labor over the fuel subsidy removal. The committee is chaired by the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo. The National Economic Council also noted with concern the impact of the crisis in Niger, especially on food security in frontline states, and directed that the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, expedite action on the distribution of food to those who are mostly affected. From the Presidential Villa, Abuja, Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.